Thanks for joining us for Broncos Country Connected, presented by Ford. Game day had a greater importance for Broncos Country this week as fans arrived at Empower Field not only to support their team, but to pay tribute to one of Denver's most iconic players, Demaryius Thomas. From a memorial inside the Ring of Fame Plaza where one day his own pillar will stand, to leaving the X-wide receiver position open for their first play of the game, the Denver Broncos and this fan base honored the life and legacy of Demaryius Thomas all throughout the day. Peyton Manning was in attendance for the game dedicated to number 88 and later shared a few of his fondest memories from his time as DT's teammate, but more importantly, his friend.
He was a better friend and a better person than he was as a player. And in my opinion, he was a Hall of Fame player. Big, strong, fast, athletic, catch everything, fearless across the middle. Nobody ran one of these little 1-yard slip screen passes that the quarterback throws for 1 yard but gets 80 yards after the fact, because Demaryius did all the work and made guys miss and linebackers and safeties bouncing off of him. So of all the things that he did on the field, incredible, they don't compare to all the things that he did off the field. He was so engaging with every player's, coaches, support staff members, families. He treated my kids as if they were his own. The joy on his face when he grabbed my son Marshall and my daughter Mosley, it was incredible. And he was like that with all of our staff members and coaches and other players' kids. He was at every player's charity event, right? Never missed one. That tells you what kind of teammate he was. Signing autographs, taking pictures for kids, for fans. So he was a better friend, a better teammate, a better person than he was actually a football player, which is really saying something. I miss that smile, I miss that laugh, I miss those plane rides flying back after a game. I miss those text messages. He texted me just this past Tuesday about, hey, remember that audible we called in 2014 against Arizona, and we connected for an 80-yard touchdown down the left sideline? And I wrote back, absolutely, I remember, gave the thumbs up. And so, those football memories just don't go away. And so we always had that bond. But the friendships, like I said, the way he treated my family, that's the greatest gift that DT ever gave me, and I'll always be indebted to him for that.
With heavy hearts, the Denver Broncos took to the field Sunday afternoon, knowing the best way they could honor DT was by getting a win over the Lions and keeping their postseason hopes alive. There's no doubt number 88 would have been proud of their performance as the Broncos posted a season-high 38 points thanks to an historic day for their running back duo. Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams combined for almost 200 scrimmage yards and 4 touchdowns, becoming the first Broncos tandem in nearly 60 years to have multiple touchdowns in the same game. Defensively, after allowing 2 scoring drives in the second quarter, Denver was able to contain Jared Goff and the Lions. The Broncos won the turnover battle thanks to a forced fumble and a spectacular pick by Justin Simmons, while Draymond Jones in a 4-play series had a sack, a tackle for loss, and a batted ball at the line of scrimmage. Here's a look back at how the Broncos channeled the loss of Demaryius Thomas to get a win for him.
Demaryius Thomas out over the 45 midfield. Here we go, 40, 35, foot race, 20, 15, 10, touchdown, Denver is over! Fade route for DT. He goes up, he makes the catch, touchdown Denver! Thomas racing for the pylon, and Demaryius Thomas has a Denver touchdown. Demaryius Thomas on a laser throw from Peyton Manning. What a huge play.
Just a gut punch on Thursday night. No other way to describe that loss appropriately. Demaryius Thomas, one of the great players in Denver Broncos history.
Fans on your feet for your 2021 Denver Broncos.
We see a lot of number 88 DT jerseys all around us here in the booth. Let's hope the Broncos go out and get a win for him here today. Close out the season strong, too.
And fans here at Empower Field at Mile High giving the Broncos and Demaryius Thomas, most importantly, a standing ovation. Teddy loads it up, home run ball is caught by Noah Fant, 32 yards on the play. Williams in the game, 8 yards behind Bridgewater under center, takes the handoff to the goal line. Williams powers in, touchdown Denver. Four-man pressure, Goff steps away from edge pressure and then is grabbed and flung to the turf, and that is a sack for Dre'Mont Jones. This was the Dre'Mont Jones series. Put this on video and just title it that. Wide open is Javonte Williams. He catches it, he stumbles, he spins, he pirouettes, he's into the end zone. Touchdown Denver. Hand off to Gordon. Gordon to big hole 10. Gordon to 5. Gordon into the end zone. Touchdown Denver.
Melvin Gordon having a game. 89 yards now at 16 carries, 2 touchdowns.
Bridgewater boots and throws the ball to Okwuegbunam, who makes a defender miss. Leans the football to the pylon, and he's got a Denver touchdown. Final score from Power Field at Mile High. Denver 38, Detroit 10.
Well, still to come, Ryan Harris will join me in studio to break down a few of the best moments from Denver's must-win game over Detroit. Don't go anywhere.
Broncos Country Connected is brought to you by Ford Trucks. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough.
Welcome back to Broncos Country Connected. I'm Alexis Perry, joined now by Super Bowl 50 champion Ryan Harris. He is here to dive into the tape from Sunday's must-win game over the Lions to highlight some of the ways the Broncos were able to get this one done. We'll pick things up here in the third quarter. It's 17-10 Broncos, and thanks to this Teddy Bridgewater to Javonte Williams connection, Denver went up 14 and never looked back.
Well, they call this rumbling, stumbling, tumbling into the end zone. And before we get to the touchdown by Javonte, which is a great play, I want to break down kind of what Teddy Bridgewater is seeing. You hear the term disguise often in football. Well, what that means is right now it looks like a cover 2, right? It looks like you have 2 different safeties that are going to split the field on the back end. However, as soon as Noah Fant goes in motion, right here, you're going to see the safety on the left motion on down to follow. So right now, Teddy Bridgewater knows that he's man-to-man coverage. Well, in man-to-man coverage, you're locked up here, you got locked up, and you got some kind of safety situation there. But this guy has Javonte Williams. Now, what's going to happen is on the snap, this guy's going to fire on a blitz. So Teddy Bridgewater knows he has a wide open man on the way to the end zone, and that's exactly what happens. So as Noah Fant goes, there goes the safety, you're in man, backer comes, boom. And here's the rumbling, stumbling, tumbling, boom, getting in the end zone. That kind of an effort, amazing to see that from Javonte Williams. Great recognition by Teddy Bridgewater. That was a team touchdown right there.
Javonte Williams, that was his second touchdown of the day. A huge day for both him and Melvin Gordon. But now the Lions would come out on their very next drive with hopes of cutting the Broncos' lead. But Dre'Mont Jones wasn't having it. His first play, a huge sack for a loss of 9 yards.
And this one's called, if at first you don't succeed, try again. You're going to see Dre'Mont Jones here, located in his defensive tackle position. They call it the 3 technique. And what's going to happen, he's going to get double teamed right away. That's over 600 pounds of grown man putting their hands on you, trying to stop you. But if first you don't succeed, try again. And this is what makes Dre'Mont Jones so spectacular. He's learned as a young player that he can fight through a double team and still find success. So as the play develops, this guard is actually going to leaving him one-on-one, but he's going to wrap into the void. You'll hear defensive linemen talk about find the void on a pass protection or a pass rush, so that way they can get into that gap and make a sack. And that's exactly what we will see Dre'Mont Jones. Boom, he's got 2 hands on him, 4 hands, 2 hands. Oh, now I'm going up, bam. I mean, he gets right in between there and makes sure, too, especially when you get that close on a quarterback, get in front of them so that they can't see past you and they know you're coming. That's how Dre'Mont Jones got the sack.
Well, now for the play that gave everyone at Empower Field chills. Justin Simmons with an unbelievable pick on Jared Goff that he then capped off with an unforgettable tribute to Demaryius Thomas.
And not a dry eye in the stadium at that point after the play, but how did it happen? Disguise, expertise, and execution. So right here you see the disguise. It looks like a cover 2, and Justin Simmons is even on his heels. Quarterbacks look at that. Is the safety on his heels? Probably not coming in, blitzing, or playing underneath. But as soon as the play starts, Justin Simmons is going to start rotating down into this area. He has this entire scope of the field right in front of him, and he knows he has over-the-top help with Kareem Jackson, who's going to kind of wander to the middle as the play develops. That confuses Jared Goff. He thinks he has his tight end wide open to the flat, but Justin Simmons is going to make a great play right here for the pick, and that's just the beginning of the tribute to Demaryius Thomas. So as the play develops, you start to see Justin Simmons walk up, then he realizes what's coming, jumps underneath the route, catches it with two hands just like Demaryius Thomas would, and then goes over to celebrate in everything that had been happening that day. There was an awesome 88 right there on the field. He took the ball to the 88. Him and his teammates celebrated it, and everyone in the stadium's wondering, how much are you thinking about Demaryius Thomas? Well, that proved he was at the forefront of every player's mind, especially Justin Simmons. That was an amazing moment, an amazing play, and great disguise by the veteran safety.
Well, there were so many amazing plays against Detroit, but there was also one from September 27th, 2015 that sticks out as well. A huge play made by your former teammate and good friend, Demaryius Thomas.
And this is the play that I keep thinking about. This is a huge play. It's kind of middle in the season, right? We're still developing who we are, but this is classic Demaryius Thomas, located right here on the screen. He's going to really outrun both his defender and the football, right? Starts with excellent pass protection by the offensive line, a sexy 6'8" on the right side. But this is what makes Demaryius Thomas so special. So he's going to, as this play develops, and this is right before the half, he's going to outrun his corner, and then he's going to come back for the football. There he is, the corner's beat. Oh, I beat him, but I got to come back, and bam, high points the football, grabs it, stays on his feet, and strides into the back of the end zone backwards. You'll also see Demaryius at the end of this play go and celebrate with his teammates. That's one of the things he did all the time. It wasn't about him and his success. That's how he helped us win. That's how he helped us have fun on the field. And you couldn't ask for a better teammate than Demaryius Thomas.
DT, gone too soon, but he will never be forgotten. Ryan, thank you so much for your time.
Always.
Well, coming up after the break, Ryan will catch up with Lionel and Troy to discuss how this win over Detroit can fuel the Broncos' fire as the Bengals come to town. But first, Denver's Week 14 win snapped through the lens of team photographer Gabriel Christus. Welcome back to Broncos Country Connected. Thanks to their win over the Lions and some key losses around the league on Sunday, Denver is now tied with the Colts, Bills, Browns, and Bengals for the final two wild card spots. With the Cincinnati Bengals making their way to the Mile High City this weekend, let's check in with Lionel Bienvenu, Troy Rank, and Ryan Harris for some perspective on just how important this Week 15 matchup is for the Denver Broncos.
Thanks, Alexis, and welcome to our Denver 7 segment brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. 4 games left in the season, and the Cincinnati Bengals are coming to town Sunday, an AFC playoff showdown. We'll talk about that game in a minute. But first, Ryan, this game against the Bengals would not be that important if the Broncos had not taken care of business against the Lions. They won that game, a game they had to win, and they did it for Demaryius Thomas.
And they did it through running the football. They were 5 for 5 in the red zone. They were clicking on all cylinders. And I think it was Melvin Gordon's best game as a Bronco as well. So you had a lot of players playing with confidence. Another interception for Justin Simmons. This is the type of win and game you needed to get ready for the AFC onslaught you're about to go through.
Yeah, Troy, the win over the Lions and the emotions of that day, right? The challenge now is to take that into the next game and carry it over. Ride the wave and play just as hard and just as emotional against the Bengals as you did against the Lions. A letdown right now would be devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an emotional day for so many Broncos. Broncos country. It was beautiful the way the day began and the way it ended with that 88-yard scoring drive. But you're right. Now you have to hit the reset button. It gets real for the Broncos. We've said, Lionel, they've played big games, important games, but this really is an elimination game because of the way the standings sit in the AFC. The Bengals are one of the teams tied with the Broncos. You can't lose to the Bengals at home and then feel like you have to win out with multiple games on the road. So a huge game this week for the Broncos.
All right, Ryan, the Broncos talked early on this season. Remember that? About a different feel in the locker room, more confident, ready to make a playoff run? Well, here we are. They are relevant with 4 games to go.
Well, and the good news is that they had the experience of winning a must-win game. Yes, it was against the Lions, but you had to win that game. So now you're an experienced group in dominating, winning the games you have to. So this playoff mode that they talk about they're in, it's real, and they've proven that they can do it. Now, can you put it together against a higher quality team? That's the kind of confidence you have to have moving into this week, and you got to pick individual players. Hey, we are going to do this again. I'm going to do that again. And what didn't we do offensively that we can maybe surprise the Bengals with? These are the conversations they're having in the locker room this week.
Well, Troy, the Bengals are not like the Lions, even though they're both in the feline class, I think. They are tough against the run, the Bengals. 4th in the NFL, giving up only 93 yards a game on the ground. But the Broncos had that two-headed monster, Javonte, Melvin, the 1-2 punch. One of the best in the league. The Broncos are the only team with 2 running backs in the top 15 in the league.
Yeah, it's thunder and thunder. It's not thunder and lightning. They're both physical. They're bowling balls. They're creating havoc. They're getting yards after contact. You had games where they had multiple touchdowns each, and Melvin Gordon looked fresh from that week off. But you're right. The strength of the Bengals defense is stopping the run. You know what? Who cares? The Broncos can't get away from that. Now, they're going to have to be a little more diverse in their run attack, but they're going to have to lean on their strength and hope that they can be better than the Bengals on the ground. I believe in the Broncos' run game right now. Not their offense entirely, but I believe in their run game.
Well, this Broncos defense, Ryan, will be tested. The Bengals average 28 points a game. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, go Tigers! The LSU connection is coming in, and they're scary. But the Broncos' defense is getting better. Number 2 in the NFL in giving up 17 points a game. So this matchup, Bengals offense, Broncos D, is going to be good.
Well, especially you got some healthy players returning at linebacker, and Dre'Mont Jones had his best game as a Denver Bronco. So you have the pass rush, that middle of your defense to shore up the run, and then your secondary is one of the best in the NFL as well. So you got a lot of good things going for you if you're the Broncos to stop that offensive powerhouse that is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Dre'Mont blocking passes with his face is fantastic, isn't it? All right, Troy, the Broncos are 12th in rushing in the NFL, but 19th in passing. So nothing really great. But if they work together, run the ball, set up the play action, get the tight ends involved, this can work down the stretch.
Absolutely, and the reality is because of the fact they're running the ball so well. But if they're going to get to where they want to be, and that's the playoffs, they've got to get their receivers involved. They only have 1 touchdown by a receiver in the last 7 games. They need to change that. Give Tim Patrick, give Cortland Sutton, give Jerry Jeudy more red zone targets. Even if they're covered, they're open. So you're going to have to give them more chances, and that's where Teddy Bridgewater, I know it's tough, you're going to have to force the ball at times in the red zone. I think this is the week we're going to see it.
All right, thanks, guys. Great stuff, as always. Now it's time to go behind the face mask and get to know a Broncos player off the field. This week, sports anchor Nick Rothschild sat down with linebacker Kenny Young. He was traded from the Rams to the Broncos back in October. He stepped right into the starting lineup and has been terrific since the trade. But Nick found out Kenny's playing with a heavy heart because of what he left behind in Los Angeles.
I know he has dogs, and he didn't even bring the dog with him, so he's feeling lonely. And
he's funny. Yeah, I actually have a Cane Corso.
Kenny Young is the Broncos' John Wick. Ruthless and menacing, with a soft spot for his pup Rocco.
Well, he just was 1 in October. He just turned 1 in October, but he's like 115 pounds at shy over 1 year old. He's massive.
The Cane Corso, a descendant of Roman war dogs, an apt companion for a guy who does this for a living.
Yeah, I miss my buddy, man. You know, he was so young. So much happening. He probably don't know where his dad's at right now, but I miss my buddy.
To provide a comfortable life for Rocco, he's diving into the world of money management.
I think it's just important to just talk about, choices in general. I don't care who you is. I think it's always important to share, your choices on what do you do with money, what do you think of money.
Young is passionate about financial literacy. His foundation works to help young people understand business and finance.
We learned a lot. Kids got to open up an account, savings account, so that was dope too.
He wants to give kids a chance to create financial success for themselves, teaching a generation how to fish.
When you're born in this world, you have you're forced to be married to a relationship with money, and the faster that you understand it, I think that, you know, the longer it helps you out in the long run.
With perspective like that and tenacity like this, Kenny Young is a lethal combination of bark, bite, and mind.
Well, that'll do it for this week's Broncos Country Connected. From all of us here in front of the camera and behind the scenes with the Broncos and Denver 7, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Broncos Country Connected is presented by Carpet Mill Outlets. Bigger discounts, better selections.